So Liam, bro, like how much did you make last week?
Yeah, bro. So last week I managed to make 6,000 AUD in a single week, bro. Yeah, bro. Literally put in the 2 weeks notice yesterday. About to leave the job.
What's good, everyone? Today I'm with Liam, one of my best mates that I've known for over 10 years. Fucking went to primary school together. If you're gonna introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, what's good, everyone? My name's Liam. I'm 20 years old, and yeah, like Huddy said, been mates with this guy since bloody primary school. Literally, fucking on the same soccer team type shit. We were best buds back in the day, and yeah, I've been working a trade for the past few years. And yeah, that's sort of my story.
Yeah, nice, bro. And obviously you're making money online now, but let's go further back into, where you're at before. So, I mean, for you, I know for both of us actually, both sort of come out of high school not really wanting to, work a trade or go to uni or go down any sort of traditional path. I mean, talk us more about the mindset there, bro. Like, what was it like coming out of high school?
Yeah, bro. So, like you said, man, like coming out of high school, I did feel quite lost, as most kids do. It's only natural, right?
Mm,
And yeah, bro, like as any young Aussie kid, there's only really two options that I was given.
yeah,
Go to uni, get a trade. I did have uni offers that I could have taken, but I just knew that route wasn't for me. No guaranteed job at the end of the road, paying a bunch of money for a fucking piece of paper. It doesn't make sense to me, right? So, for me, I chose the tradie route, and you know, getting into that, I just wanted to make money. That was just the main thing to keep me afloat, keep the parents happy, keep putting food on the table, put a roof over my head. So that was sort of where my head was at with the job side of things, bro.
yeah, yeah. So you were sort of like coming out of high school, pretty lost, not really sure in terms of like direction for the future. And you were sort of just working, just pay the bills, keep the parents happy. And I guess for you, man, like what made you look more into the online side of things?
Yeah, bro. So as I guess the perks of working that job, it just didn't seem right to me.
Mm,
Having a clock on every single morning, wake up at the crack of dawn, work for a cunt who quite literally didn't give a fuck about me. Like, I just knew that wasn't worth it for me, bro.
mm,
And having seen all these kids making money online and seeing them, being able to do it, I was sort of like, they have the things that I want,
yeah,
the freedom, the time, all of those things. Like, that was what I wanted. It wasn't
yeah,
necessarily about the money, it was just the freedom, bro.
yeah.
And that kind of got me started on my own journey. I was like, fuck it. Like, there's no difference between me and those guys. So why not give it a crack?
Mm, yeah, 100%. And so when did you sort of first start looking into it? You started seeing all the fucking kids making money online. I think we've all been there. But when did you first go, okay, fuck, I see these cunts. Why don't I just give it a shot my own?
Yeah, bro. So like you said, I always saw those kids online, took one look at my For You page at Smoko and saw those kids. And in 2023, towards the end of that year, I'd been 1 year out of school, and I was starting to consider like where I wanted to take my life, like what should I do?
Yeah.
And towards the end of that year, I started trying to look at drop shipping, SMMA,
Mm,
even looked at Amazon FBA. I tried drop shipping and SMMA, bro, and honestly, fell to shit so quick,
yeah.
like house built on sand kind of thing. Like it just fell away so quickly because, yeah, I just felt like I was kind of lost. I
Mm,
kind of felt like I didn't know what I was doing,
mm.
and I was almost at a disadvantage.
Okay. Okay, so you did try a few things, Amazon FBA, drop shipping, and for you, like when you say your foundation was kind of built on sand, like what do you mean by that exactly, bro?
Yeah, bro. So I guess like what I mean by that is, as much as trying it was good, I got some experience. I kind of tested the waters. I never really had that backing for myself to have someone there
Mm,
that actually knew what they were doing to guide me along the way with them.
okay.
Like, as much as trying it by yourself, like it's good to take action and all of that. But
Mm, mm,
for me, in my personal experience, bro, like I got lost quicker than I could get started because I just didn't have the guidance. I didn't have someone there that was able to help me, bro.
mm. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, bro. So it was sort of like you were doing this, you were trying, and it was good to get some experience. It was just like you couldn't really take it much further due to the lack of guidance, due to just not knowing what to do next. And I'm assuming you were sort of watching YouTube videos or sort of just doing some research on your own.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head there, bro. And everyone's looked at YouTube. There's so many
Mm,
bloody videos out there that sort of tell you how to make money online, but they're not
yeah,
really telling you. There's no
yeah,
actual inside information. You're kind of just getting the surface level of the iceberg, and there's so much underneath that you just don't understand
yeah,
because you don't have that person that knows that tea, knows the information that you so desperately need to
mm,
actually get the results you want.
yeah, yeah. 100%. I went through a similar thing. Yeah, so just to bring it back, bro, obviously you finished high school, didn't want to go to uni, was just working a job just to get by, but you were trying to suss out your options. Saw making money online being a thing that you could do. You just didn't know how to get there. You're watching YouTube, you're just kind of stuck. I mean, what was the next steps for you then, bro?
Yeah, bro. Well, I mean, for me, I guess I knew that I was missing someone who was in the position that I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
Had the know-how, had the skills to actually guide me and help me to get to that position that they were in.
Mm,
So I guess I kind of went out there and I was looking for it. Like that's
mm,
what I knew was going to help me, bro.
mm. Yeah, 100%. And that was obviously getting into ABC, getting the training there, bro. I mean, what was the difference, man? Like, what did you start looking more into in terms of getting into ABC?
Yeah, bro. Well, number one is I realized the power of having people around you that do the same thing as you.
Mm,
And I know like for you personally, we both experienced this. Like it's so common in Australia for you to almost feel alone trying to
mm,
do something for yourself.
yeah,
And whether it be going to the gym or just trying to make money online, like not a lot of people do that.
yeah,
And I know like, having you there who actually helped me as well, like it made such a difference, number one.
yeah,
And number two was I stopped looking at business models. I
yeah,
stopped looking at things that I didn't really have a lot of control over.
mm,
And I started looking at, the introduction of high income skills. That was the number one thing that I knew was going to help me get me out of the position that I was in.
mm, yeah, yeah. So it was the combination of just actually learning skills, but then also knowing people as well that really helped you, bro. And obviously, you've been doing this for about 6 months now. I mean, walk us through your journey, man. Like, you got into ABC about 6 months ago. What did that actually look like? Because you and I both know it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are a lot of things that sort of happen along the way. But, you know, for everyone else to know, because I think a lot of people get it mixed up and think that this is a, get rich quick scheme or making money online is easy, or you're gonna wake up tomorrow with a fucking $1 million in the bank. I mean, walk us through your journey and what it took to actually get to the point where you're at now, bro.
Yeah, bro. Well, like you said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's road bump after road bump. Literally accepting failure. It's
Mm,
it's a tough reality, but at the end of the day, like you have to accept it.
mm,
It's the only way you're gonna learn.
yeah,
So at the start, right, I started posting content. That was the first thing I really wanted to do,
mm,
posting videos online. I was always interested in that. Also just diving headfirst into the skills was the biggest thing for me, just learning as much as I could.
mm,
But on the exterior to that, like externally, because I know, the work's all glamorous when you're going through it, you're grinding, but at the time, right, I actually had a girlfriend. I was in a relationship
yeah,
whilst I was trying to do this. And I sort of shared with her, like, I wanted to better my life, but I also wanted to better hers.
yeah, yeah,
And it was tough because I was putting a lot of time and energy and effort into actually creating that better life as a reality for us both. But eventually, it got too much for her,
mm,
and she felt like I wasn't giving enough time to her because I was so focused on, getting the results and getting the goals that I wanted for us both to experience.
yeah,
And yeah, eventually it didn't work out, and she went her separate ways because ultimately she didn't really believe in the vision that I had.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So That was obviously we talked about road bumps, but that was probably one of the biggest. Would you say that sort of made things a lot more difficult? I mean, in that 6 month period, man, where was that sort of at? Like, what was it, the second month, third month?
Yeah, bro. So that was around the third to fourth month.
Okay.
Definitely one of the biggest road bumps I faced along the
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
One of the toughest things to get over
Yeah.
because originally, right, like I wanted to do this for the both of us. And obviously having separated and that happening, I had to sort of sit back and look and I was like, I had every reason to quit. Literally everything going against me.
Mm,
And I nearly did. I
mm,
nearly fucking quit. But the thing is like I knew in my mind, like I got in this for me.
mm,
At the end of the day, it was for me.
mm.
And I just knew like if I never gave up, if I just didn't quit, like there was no way, obviously 6 months down the line now, I wouldn't get the results that I was working for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose it would have been a bit of test of your vision and what you had actually casted for yourself, realizing at the end of the day it is mostly for you. Obviously, you wanted that person to benefit from it, but because she didn't really see it herself happening. She didn't trust the process. That situation sort of had to happen, and you said you were gonna, you had thoughts about quitting, you nearly did, but you managed to stick with it. How did that sort of affect you, bro? Like in that maybe we'll say midway half-time period of like, okay, this is the 6 month journey. How did that sort of affect you with that sort of going on? I know you also talked about family, friends as well, sort of fucking, talking about it and getting in your head as well. I mean, how did that affect you throughout the journey?
Oh, bro, it's tough. Like I'd love to sit here and tell you that it didn't affect me, but that's
Mm,
bullshit. Like
mm,
straight up. It was tough, like mentally, having to push through, knowing that I had to keep working regardless of how I felt. Like that was the hardest pill to swallow.
mm,
It was the hardest thing to accept is like these situations happened, but I've still got to be aligned with my goals. I've still got to, push through the hard times. And yeah, bro, like that wasn't, the only thing that was tough about the journey. Obviously, like being the halfway point, that was definitely the biggest one. But in the beginning, bro, like even just starting out, talking about wanting to make money online,
mm,
my friends, my family,
mm,
so many people doubted me, bro. I had
mm,
so many people, my parents telling me to go to uni. I had offers. They
mm,
were telling me to go back. They were telling me to accept the offers, go to uni, and do what my brother was doing, essentially.
mm.
And in my mind, I was like, that's not what I want. And it's so hard to not fall into the trap of just living my life on their terms.
Yeah,
And yeah, bro, it is tough. It really is. But at the same time, like you said, bro, you just need to do it for yourself.
yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of people, this is very easy when you're sort of in your 20s, early 20s, especially coming out of high school as well, to fall into that trap of always wanting to do what everyone else tells you to do, go to uni, go do a trade, because that's what everyone else does, you know? But I mean, for you going through that, I mean, do you felt like even though it was so much pain in the moment, now that it is working out, do you feel like it was worth it, bro?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And, in my opinion, had I not gone through those things, I wouldn't have realized how valuable coming out of the other side was.
Mm,
Like, getting out of that shit moment of obviously my girl's left me. I've got heaps of people hating on me, heaps of people doubting the process and what I'm actually doing. Like, coming out the other side of it, having stuck with it for 6 months,
mm.
I now know that if I just put my mind to something and actually don't give up, realistically, like anything's kind of possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. 100%. What would you say to someone that maybe has or is currently in a similar situation? Like, because we're all fucking been there. I think I've been there. But for someone that's like, I suppose thinking about making money online, or it really relates to anything, wanting to be an athlete or wanting to go chase a big goal that, you know, isn't something people normally do. You got everyone doubting you, everyone around you, missus, family, literally all your loved ones. What would you say to those people if, this goal that no one tells you to go chase, but it's something that you want so fucking bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Well, I guess what I'd say to them is, as much as it feels like everything's against you and you kind of feel like, there's all these people talking down on you or saying that it's not going to work or your missus might have left you, whatever it is. It's like if you realize like doing this, doing anything,
Mm,
it's for you. Like pushing through those tough times is going to make it worth it
mm.
because you only had yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think as well, like living a life where you're always trying to please everyone is gonna be a life pretty fucking miserable. And it's honestly, in my opinion, not a life worth living, right?
100%, bro. And that's the thing is like it's interesting to sort of look back on the journey and obviously that pivotal point where my missus was kind of saying to me like it's either doing this or me. Like
Mm,
that's kind of how she put it.
yeah,
Is like what would have happened if I listened to her?
yeah,
What would have happened if I just
yeah,
stayed down that path, right? It's like
yeah,
in my eyes, I'm living my life and how I actually want to live my life
mm,
on someone else's opinions or someone else's view on how I should go about things. So, like you said, bro, it's just not worth it to float through life thinking that everyone else's opinions or views about how you should live your life, it's just not fucking worth it.
yeah. And it won't get you anywhere. It won't get you anywhere where you fucking want to be. But I mean, for you moving forward now, okay, you're at this 3 to 4 month period. You still haven't really seen much results. What pushed you to move forward then? Like you said, okay, it was a test of your vision and what you wanted for yourself. You managed to push through. But what was like the biggest motivator there then, bro?
Yeah, bro. So obviously, as you know, I went a solid 5 months, 5 to 6 months, seeing no results for
Mm,
the work I was putting in.
mm,
And I know it's tough because in my eyes, like I knew that I was putting in the work necessary to
mm,
eventually get the results.
mm,
It was just a matter of time. It was a matter of when, not if.
mm,
So I guess like for me, pushing through those tough times, I know that if I just kept the long-term vision, the long-term goal that I had in mind, the
mm,
long-term life that I wanted, if I just kept thinking about that, kept thinking about it through those tough times, like it would eventually pull me through
mm.
because, short-term loss sometimes is long-term gain,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You always learn from those mistakes and those bad times.
without a doubt.
For you now moving forward, you're at your 6 month period. You got to a point when you started closing deals, you started like jumping on sales calls, learning those skills, doubling down with that. What was that, I suppose, that last month period? How did it feel getting to that point, closing your first couple of deals and then making that real big fucking day?
Bro, indescribable is the way I'll put it. Like, honestly, it's amazing what, a bit of hard work and grind can actually do.
Mm,
5 months seeing fucking no results to then jumping on a few sales calls and, within my first week making 6 grand.
mm,
Like it was absolutely insane. But that's the thing is like, a lot of people call it lucky. Like that is the harsh reality of it. A lot of people externally will call it lucky, but you know, internally I knew that if I just kept putting in the work, if I just kept pushing through, like eventually that feeling that I got towards the end, like it would come.
yeah,
Like I said, it was just a matter of when, not if.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you said, it's not luck. You have to put yourself in the position to be lucky. And it took you 6 months, but at the end of the day, it's different for everyone.
100%, bro. You need to create your own luck. And at the end of the day, like the best way to create that is just position yourself to I guess heighten that chance. Put yourself in the position to work hard
Yeah.
towards that luck.
Yeah. You show up every day. You might, if you fucking miss a day, you might have missed that lucky day, you know?
100%, bro. Yeah, never miss a day. You'll never miss that lucky day.
Yeah. So now moving forward, you made 6K literally last week. That's pure profit, right?
Yeah,
What's the plans moving forward, man? Like you made a pretty much, how does that even compare to your old job?
literally, pretty much tripled, like tripled my, well, actually 6 times my weekly income in a single week.
Yeah.
Now that I think of it, making a grand working in the trades to 6K in a single week, six
Yeah.
times my old income, bro. So yeah.
Now that you're making that sort of money, like what is the plan moving forward, bro?
Yeah, so I guess for me, bro, obviously handing in the 2 week notice, getting out of the job,
Mhm.
you start getting that time and that location freedom that I originally got into the space wanting.
Mm,
And yeah, bro, from there I have a big goal of making 10K a month.
mhm,
That's my big goal, my birthday present to myself.
mhm.
And yeah, bro, from there, obviously I want to travel. That's one of the biggest things is I wanted to do coming into the space as well as like going out and experiencing the world. And I knew like I wasn't going to be able to fucking do that working my trade. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So pretty much fucking leave your job, do this shit full time, make your first 10K a month.
yeah,
I think some people might watch this and go, fuck, it took him 6 months to make that much money. But name one fucking job where you could dedicate yourself for 6 months and then be able to make that much money. Like four
you can't.
figures. Sorry, 6K a week. Like that's fucking unheard of.
Absolutely. And literally you can't. Like there is no job in the world that you can put graft and grind into for 6 months. And the thing is, like, with that being said, bro, like that graft and grind that you obviously have to put in, it's
Mm,
like the way I see it, right, is you're already putting in graft and grind and effort into your job.
mm,
So like the way I saw it is like, why not just redirect that same work ethic that I do have,
yeah,
even in the gym, towards this?
yeah. 100%. 100%. Well, I mean, one last thing, man. Like, what would you say to maybe someone that was in a similar situation to you on the fence with getting into the online space? What would your piece of advice be, bro?
Yeah, well, I guess like my one piece of advice is, clearly if you're thinking about it, you do want it.
Mm,
It is something that, a lot of people do think about fantasize. I know in my head, I thought about it for a long time and I kind of wish now, like, I kind of wish I started sooner.
yeah.
I kind of wish I just took that action sooner. But
Mm,
uh, the advice I would give, right, is as much as it might seem scary, as much as it might seem like this is a totally different world. I know I felt that when I first started, it was totally different. It's
mm,
like without actually ever giving it a crack, giving it a go, taking that chance, you're never going to find out anyways. So
yeah.
fucking give it a crack.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You never know unless you try. People will literally spend months, and that's probably my biggest regret is not starting earlier. Because only God knows how far I could be, and even yourself could be if we just got into this earlier. But um, people will literally spend lifetimes thinking about the thing that they want, but never even try, never even take a risk to get there.
100%, bro. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on today, bro, and speak soon.
Not too easy. Thank you.